Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people hate reading. This month, we're doing movies that are fun, so I picked the movie The Boondock Saints. And I bring you movie news at the end of the program. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, Ryan Preston, and the old guy.
Our old guy is here. Woo! Got my cut.
Ryan, what's this movie about?
All right, Boondock Saints, 1999, starring Willem Dafoe, Sean Patrick Flannery, and Norman Reedus. Fraternal twins set out to rid Boston of the evil men operating there while being tracked down by an FBI agent.
You know, I still think Willem Dafoe should have won an Oscar for his role. Seriously.
You know what?
Nobody else would play a woman that ugly.
I finally figured out where Johnny Depp got his character from. He totally copied Dafoe in that.
So, but could Depp pull off a dress that well? So
no!
I looked up
Dafoe.
something on So according to the Bastion of all knowledge, Wikipedia, the fuck count, the word fuck count in this movie, it's 239 times. So according to this, the uses per minute is 2.17.
Wow. Yeah, there was a lot of foul language, and it wasn't even from fuck ass.
No.
You know?
It was all over the place in this movie.
Yeah, it really was.
It was the majority of the movie. any script.
But you know,
easy to remember.
Even still, despite all that, I think this is a really great film.
It has some of the great lines in this movie.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah,
what a terrible thing to say.
Allow me to point out a small statistic.
Okay, go.
In the middle of watching this, I decided to start kind of looking up, sort of the ins and outs of it because it's been a while. Rotten Tomatoes. This is, to me, the definition of a fun movie. In as much as top critics 20%, audience 92%.
Wow. Oh.
I have never, in going to that website, seen those two so divided.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I think they have it right.
From a critic's point of view, there's no
fans
way
the fans.
It's dumb.
Yeah,
but it's so fun.
Yeah, the fans have it right. Critics, well, we're critics.
Yeah, but I mean, critics can be wrong.
Well, let me point out that I think the critics did their job in reviewing that movie. It's written by somebody who spends a lot of time in a bar.
Yeah, it's not an Oscar movie. No,
this movie is the documentary that was made on the making of the movie called Overnight. Was the name of the documentary. I highly recommend it to anybody who just watched and liked this movie.
So I wanted to say though, some of my favorite parts of this movie are just the lines I wrote down. Some of my favorite, like Connor's comment was to that lesbian lady. It's like, can't do much damage with that, then can we? Perhaps we should call it the rule of the wrist.
You know, I still my favorite one is Cuddle. What a fag.
Yeah, or Murphy's comment to Connor. You and your fucking rope.
Yeah.
The best of all time is Willem Dafoe giving Detective Greenlee crap. Was why don't you get me a cup of coffee? Who the hell is this? Cafe latte. What the fuck? Twisted Lemon. Chief, what the fuck? Sweet and low. The whole interaction the entire time with Willem Dafoe and Detective Greenlee was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
You know, like I said, just Willem Dafoe does such a fantastic job, and you actually get to see why he's such a good actor because of this film.
Yeah.
And he does a perfect line between playing somebody who's crazy and smart at the same time.
Yes.
Very wacky character.
Now,
like
I'm pretty certain Ryan saw the All Saints Day, the Boondocks.
The second one.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the girl who supposedly played Willem Dafoe's daughter tried to walk that line as well and failed. That's why that movie is such crap.
The whole movie of the sequel seemed to be like, hey, everybody liked this first one because of all these great scenes. So they kind of took those great scenes
and tried to do
them into the second movie and tried to build a shitty plot around it.
Yeah, I still don't understand why Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery even agreed to that if they looked at the script.
Well, partly because
they were getting paid for it.
Well, part of it also is because this is such a great movie. I mean, there's so many great lines. Like, yeah, you know, it just every part of this movie, the interaction between the two, like the fact that the two of them, Connor and Murphy, speak like multiple languages, and you know, and they're not stupid at all.
You know, what I found really interesting was that this had limited release because of the Columbine massacre, right? So the first week it opened up is only in 5 theaters, and most of it developed its following from guys like us who just found it and said, hey, it's pretty good, and the word got out.
If I remember correctly, I think this movie was originally only released in blockbusters.
Pretty much, I think so. It was,
I think they had
literally like a cult classic because it was so underground.
Right.
Oh,
it was almost like a TLC Punk type thing.
Yeah, the other one I forgot was...
Or SLC Punk, sorry. Not TLC.
Yeah.
No.
Jeez. The other one was... Oh, yeah, the other one I really liked was, oh, really? I might just be wanting a bagel with my coffee.
Cream cheese.
This movie really lives on its one-liners.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it really does.
But to me, it's surprising how unironic this movie is. It takes the premise so bloody seriously, and it's you know, for all of its kind of, you know, half-assed attempt at being, you know, kind of, you know, controversial with the subject matter of the vigilante, especially with the end credit sequence of the mixed
interviews,
you know, public opinion.
Sign me up.
It really lives on its not being boring at all.
I gotta say though, I don't think it takes itself that seriously, because there's a lot of humor in this movie in between the amazingly bloody killing scenes.
Yeah, like the cat.
That's what it.
That's
ironic.
I was going to talk about that in a second.
It kept trying to just find good ways to kill people.
Yeah.
I gotta say though that, like James mentioned, the scene with a cat. That's the Pulp Fiction scene.
Yeah.
You know, with the scene where he killed that black guy in the back of the car. This was that scene where he hit the table, the gun went off, and the next thing you see is the cat go ping,
splattered.
Poor kitty.
Did that just happen?
I like how they covered that up. A picture.
Where's my cat? I killed your cat.
What was its name?
I will shoot myself. Damn it! What color was it?
Good, James. You've seen this movie too often.
Shocking.
You know, I almost didn't watch this movie again because of how many times I've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just said, you know, screw it. I'm going to find just that hour and a half, how long it was, just to sit down and watch it. And I pulled it out and had the special uncut edition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing I thought was really well done was the use of flashbacks in this movie. How they didn't actually show you what happened until after the introduction of Willem Dafoe's characters every time.
Yeah. Well, they only did that 3 times.
Yeah. I actually thought that
3 times.
That was really well done, though. I actually liked that because it helped. I thought it helped the movie move along more.
Yeah, the one that I thought they did really well was Rocco, where they're sitting in the house and the phone rings and, you know, they answer it and, you know, he cuts off and
on the
flip side.
Yeah, I catch you on the flip side, and then then later when he comes back in, busting through the door,
he starts grinding random crap like an iron. Really? That's what you got to
they
go for?
used the iron. Come on.
They did.
Yeah,
They did
Cauterize the wounds.
They needed that iron, man.
They did need that iron, as it turns out.
Yeah.
You know, the scene that I really liked was when Dafoe, he had his gloves on and he was digging into that dead body in the alley, and then he's touching his hair. And he's got the blood all...
And everybody's making that ew.
They're all going, ew.
I love that one guy points it out, you know, kind of like, you know, and he's like just not paying attention.
Yeah, I actually think that wasn't in the alley. I think that was in the hotel.
Yeah.
Was it in the hotel?
Yeah, it was in the hotel.
I don't know. There's so many bloody
when he was
scenes.
pulling in his skull because they shot him twice in the back. Yeah.
The bar scene was great too, when he was saying, give us a break. Everybody's out of St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, you know, the beginning of this movie, the music that they play, I forget who the guy was that did the music. Brian could probably pull that up, but I think he did a great job for this type of film.
The score of the movie was awesome.
Yeah, the score. The guy who did the score, I can't remember his name. Anyways, but I think he did a really good job mixing the music for this thing, because especially the opening scene, the happy Irish music that they start playing, or Celtic music, whatever you want to call it, in the beginning really kind of gets you into the fun, and that you're expecting this movie to be a fun movie, especially with the cutscenes in there where he starts smacking his brother with a knee, and he starts beating him with the tongue.
Yeah,
that was funny.
I do think the introduction of the Catholic Church, though, I actually thought that whole scene right there set the entire tone of the movie when they went up before the altar call and started, praying and all that. I thought right there set the entire movie, as you got to see that these guys weren't they didn't fit what everybody else did. They kind of went by the drum beat of their own drum, as it were.
Yeah, that was a pretty good introduction to it too. Anyways, but I thought that was a really good thing. Whoever did the score, I forgot. I paid attention when it came up, but I didn't write it down. Anyway, but
I know. Let's see, the Jeff Dana, is that?
It doesn't sound familiar.
Composer is.
Anyways,
I just had it. Darn it!
But I thought that was really well done. And then there was a scene that I really thought was, and I totally got on the score and I totally forgot what it was. But there are a lot of scenes in this film that are just really stand out and really great and a lot of fun.
It's just cool. It's a fucking cool movie, it wants to be cool, and it sort of succeeds because it has cool characters, and I don't think it really tries to be anything more than just cool.
I do love the song that plays during when they're first getting their weapons.
Yeah.
I don't remember the song, but it was just a very wacky choice that just made that scene even better.
Yeah, the scene I was going to talk about was where Willem Dafoe's, kind of talking about what's going on with the scene where they went and killed the assassin guy who killed the whole family, guy that he just stands there and he's talking about the whole thing and the gunfight, and he's like, well, what if it was 6 guys with one gun? No. And then he moves on and goes, unless I miss something. And then he's just sitting there just trying to figure it out.
One guy with 6 guns.
Yeah, one guy with 6 guns, or Yeah, it was just that whole part. I always thought was probably my favorite part.
And
what I really
how
liked?
the guy's thumb was shot off.
Oh yeah. Well, the scene I liked was after they killed the Russians and they got their Desert Eagles and all the gold and jewelry and everything, and then they go to the Irish army guy who's got all these weapons, and they throw the guns down, and the guy throws them 2 bags, fill them up, get out of here. And it's
I would love that.
Wow. And I wish you remember that song. That song they played during that scene was hilarious. Especially
I know
when
what you're talking about.
was it Norman Reedus pointed the gun at
Yeah, and it's funny if you looked at the barrel. I looked at notes and looked at the barrel. Hammer and sickle was inscribed right below on the Desert Eagles that were plated gold, of course.
Nice.
That was pretty funny.
I don't think I would have kept. Probably would have kept one of them.
Yeah.
Because they had other things that they rolled them over, their watches, their
gold,
chains,
money, everything.
Their roll of money and everything.
They took everything.
Yeah, but man, dude, they had 4 Berettas.
Yeah.
A couple of things of rope.
Yeah.
Those shoulder holsters.
Couple
those ain't
of things are wrong.
All kinds of ammunition. I mean, they
big
took
old knife.
And the Rambo knife. That was a Rambo knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The knife that they argued over.
That was a lot of cash for
right.
Guns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The other part is I liked how the two really played off each other well. When the one wanted to rope, the guy was complaining and says, "Really? And you're gonna need this?"
Yeah.
Is that right, Rambo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when them fighting in the duct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Thank God they fought in the duct. Otherwise, they would never have found them.
I just thought that was
And
funny.
they would have never needed the rope.
That's right.
I've
been trying to think
And
what
do
that
you
was
think
reminiscent.
is in that little case over there?
I think there's some of.
How easy it is for everybody apparently to get silencers or suppressors.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Even Willem Dafoe had one for some reason.
Dafoe just able to
bust him one out.
What the
Hide
hell,
one in her
know?
purse.
Oh.
It's purse.
By the way, the ugliest man in a dress ever.
Yeah, I mean that. Dude, he should have gotten paid a crap ton of money, like over $500,000 for that kissing scene.
And every
Come
time,
on,
every
that's
time,
better than Halle Berry's
Both of them
tits.
should have just thrown
and
it.
every
that would have
time,
been about 1/10 of their budget.
Yeah.
and every time I see that guy's comment, oh, he sent me a primo box. The whole time I'm laughing, going, "Dear God, that Italian's got to be drunk."
they do start drinking early.
I would be if I found that guy cute in a dress. Dear God in heaven.
You know, yeah. Every time I saw him after in Spider-Man, it's always I keep on looking and I'm like, oh, don't kiss anybody, dude. You got Steven Tyler mouth.
It's one of those things you just can't unsee.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, there is a movie where he played...
it's like Jennifer Connelly scenes.
There was a movie, I can't remember which one Willem Dafoe did, but he got naked in it, and as soon as they started doing that, I didn't finish it.
You didn't finish the movie?
No, Antichrist, I think it was last... 2009.
So, who were your guys' favorite interaction? Because my two were really, was it Willem Dafoe and Greenlee, and the two brothers, I think, had the greatest personal interactions in the entire movie.
Yeah, that's really what it was. Antichrist. If you people out there want to see Willem Dafoe naked, go watch that movie. If you don't, stay away.
So, to get on a better topic, Brian, who are your favorite character interactions in this movie?
I think you named the two good ones.
Yeah, the detective in Dafoe. I forgot the detective's name.
Greenlee. Because
That's
I loved his theory. A really big guy, just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the opening line is like, okay, so these two guys are kicking the shit out of each other, right?
And he was really big.
Bob Marley?
Yeah, Bob Marley.
Okay, Bob Marley.
Is that his real name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is his real name. He's a junior. His name's, Robert.
That's funny. Yeah.
Anyways,
I do think though the prayer and the pennies were a really nice touch as far as the characters go. Because it shows they're Catholic and they wear the Celtic cross, I believe. I thought the pennies, even though it was a weird mix of things, I actually thought that played very well for those characters, the way the characters have presented themselves.
You saying that whole character thing, which character banter do you like in between? I mean, you really can't be asking that question when you've already said, the only 4 characters that really had banter throughout the movie.
Well, there were other ones, but I just think they had the best.
Really, if you really think about it.
Yeah, not really. The bartender
it's just
had
the brothers,
30 seconds.
And then Willem Dafoe and Greenlee.
Yeah.
I mean, really, who else are you going to pick?
The other
Rocco
detectives.
and that random, Ron Jeremy character. Really?
Yeah, well, that scene was hilarious.
Well, but I mean, you put Ron Jeremy on film and you just turn everybody's stomach. I mean, really? Come on, just look at the guy. You're like, ew.
I gotta say, his death scene was highly ironic.
Pretty much, yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I'd have to say, I actually like the brothers mostly because that's the way they played off each other was really well done.
I love if you ever guys get a chance to watch the deleted scene, there's a deleted scene where they're talking to their mom.
Oh yeah,
and their mom is screwing with them hardcore.
Oh well, everything with the mom was deleted.
Yeah.
It was all cut out.
So there's scenes the mom was. I wish they put it in there because it's just so funny.
Well, she even narrated scenes, and they had to go back and do some voiceovers, which was I don't know what happened there.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, I was reading about that. They cut everything of hers out. And she did some narration, and they had to go back and do some other.
Maybe there's a falling out between the actress and the director.
Something. Yeah.
Huh?
So, what do you think about
I wouldn't be surprised. Again, go watch the documentary Overnight. It's literally about the making of this movie and how much of a prick the director is.
So, what do you think about the character the Deuce?
Director-writer.
El Duce,
yeah. He was. I thought that was an interesting character.
Yeah, I thought he was a great addition. I really did. I thought he was.
Him and Willem Dafoe really kind of added a little bit of legitimacy to the movie. Nobody knew who the hell Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus were.
At that point.
True.
Yeah.
Nobody still knows who David Del Rocco is.
No, I think this and the sequel with.
He's a blown-up Ron Jeremy.
Excuse me. I thought he did television. I'm sure
he doesn't have a whole lot of credits that I've seen.
El Duce.
I loved the introduction because it was almost the Hannibal Lecter-esque. They were wheeling him to the cage.
I actually thought it was a little overplayed for at times. I mean, like when they like moving him, and then all of a sudden all the guards rack their shotguns. Yeah. Really, it's like all in unison. Really.
Yeah. And he's handcuffed completely.
But it's fun.
That's what I was gonna say. Overplaying it as much as they did added to the fun of the movie.
Oh yeah.
So it was overplayed.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said,
of course.
I felt it was overplayed, but it was
meant to be
overplayed fun.
Right.
In a fun way.
Totally.
So, I thought it was a good addition. I thought it really helped out with kind of the mystique of what's going on. And I mean, like they said, they only really used him in really messed up situations. Mm-hmm. I thought the blind bathroom guy was pretty cute, too.
Yeah.
Where he's also chucking all those little
the
pucks
cakes.
Over. Yeah, pea cakes, whatever.
Yeah.
And landing them right where they're supposed to be.
I was thinking you saying it overdone reminded me of the scene in Con Air with Steve Buscemi. Yeah, how the introduction of him was very...
With the Darth Vader mask?
Yeah, how that was kind of like, really?
You are right. He did do head of the class for a year and 22 episodes.
Yeah, he was on television.
I'm trying to see something else that I would really know him in before this movie.
He hasn't done
the Kenny Everett television show?
So, Ryan, what do you give this movie?
Oh, man. It's a 3, specifically because this is an action movie made by a fan of action movies for people who are fans of action movies.
Rob?
Basically, if you're a fan of the genre, this is like you sitting around with your buddies like, hey, man, if we made an action movie, this is all the cool shit we'd put into it, and this is the result.
I think there'd be a little more blood if I made it, but yeah, pretty much.
No, I agree. I think this is let's have some fun. Let's make this movie. I wrote this weird script. Let's get a few people to play the roles.
And get Willem Dafoe in a dress.
Take a month to shoot it, do it on the cheap, and see what happens.
Yeah.
This movie
and it worked for me, so I'll give it a 3.
And this movie, I think, if I remember correctly, this movie wasn't expensive to make either, so... Even though they couldn't find a Catholic church to say yes.
Well, it was interesting because they were talking about like having Stallone in there at one point. There were a bunch of notes where they were trying to get other people, to play in there. Patrick Swayze was another one. They were So initially...
That was just for John.
Thank goodness those guys turned them down.
Yeah.
Because the cast would have been screwed up.
Yeah.
Stallone and Patrick Swayze.
It would have been amusing with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That would have really screwed it.
It would have turned it to a comedy. James, what do you give it?
I'm actually surprised that Ryan went so low. I'm going a 4 because of the fact that everything that he said, but I think that this one is more than just your shoot 'em up movie. I think, like you guys said, it's made on a low budget, but for what it did, it was better than most of those shoot 'em up action movies that you find out there. And on top of it, it was done with a fairly no-name cast.
Yeah, almost all no-name.
And the acting was really well done. I mean, like I said, Willem Dafoe really plays that goofy, off-the-wall, out-there, eccentric...
and he's like the standout...
Eclectic, good FBI character.
And I think he's the most standout character in this entire movie of very off-the-wall characters. I think he stands out the most.
Well, he's the star.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But, the basis of the movie is Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Those are the main characters.
But Willem Dafoe is the star of the movie because he's got more screen time than them. But anyways, I straight out 4, it's on the verge of almost a 5.
I actually agree completely with James.
A bunch of 20-something-year-old dudes Halloween costumes for the next 20 years.
I actually agree with James. This movie is hilarious. This is one of these movies that you could pretty much watch all the time and laugh all the time with the same parts, or find different crap funny during it. This is definitely a strong 4 to 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So the next part of the show is movie rumors, and I've got 2 that I found, and one, they say it's confirmed false, but we'll see if it is.
Confirmed false.
Allegedly. Well, they say it's false, so we'll see.
I like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Confirmed false.
Asshole.
We're going to still read it anyways.
Well, it's Hollywood. You never know. I mean, when they say it's false, it's never actually false. They say the rumor originally was that they're going to replace Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones.
With who?
That one I don't remember reading.
So it's false. Harrison Ford will be Indiana Jones.
But
no. Hopefully they won't make another Indiana Jones.
Who the hell would... Yeah.
See, that's...
After Crystal Skull, yeah.
That's my question, is if they replaced Harrison Ford, who would you do it? Would it be a good or bad idea? Or would you... would you replace...
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Wasn't he in the fourth one?
His son. Mm-hmm. I don't know. If they're going to go back do like a young Indy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
they
start
can't
with
put
an
the
old
boof
Harrison
as
Ford
Indiana
in an
Jones.
armchair and then he flashes back.
They can't put the boof as Indiana Jones.
No, well, see, this is why I was so mad at the LaBeouf in the role.
Whatever the hell
is because if they had an actually good actor, they could have Indiana Jones Jr. be in there, and then they could still continue the storyline. But because they got a guy who couldn't act his way out of a wet paper bag if one side was open, to play it. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, obviously they're not going to go with Shia LaBeouf. Like I said, I mean,
not now.
Unless they're going to do a young Indiana Jones, start with Harrison Ford in an armchair, old.
Like the TV series.
With the walker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty much what they did during the TV series. Check it out if you guys haven't seen it.
Harrison Ford's old. He gets up to go get a glass of water in the middle of the night. He
breaks
falls,
a hip.
And then he starts flashing back, to all of his adventures while he's laying there on the ground with a broken hip.
Taking hits of Metamucil. So that one went over like a bomb. The other one is Kevin Costner wants to make a Western trilogy all at one time.
Wait, what?
Kevin Costner,
like a one film, or
he wants to make a trilogy all at one time.
So he makes the movie and breaks it up into 3.
Gee, hasn't that been done before? Yeah.
Yeah, all at one time, but release it in the same year. All 3 parts.
Wow. Well, that would actually be really cool.
The question is anybody ready for a 9-hour Western?
I like Costner's Westerns. I would actually be willing to see it.
It's true. He's made
if it's anything like Open Range.
Open Range or Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Either or. I mean, he can do a Western. There's no doubt about it.
Dances with Open Range?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Postman?
Good point. So what do you think, though? Do you think it would be good, bad, or wait? Because I think the way Kevin Costner's, it's iffy. I'd be willing to see it.
I think his sensibility toward... Didn't he direct Open Range?
No, he directed Dances with Wolves. I know that one for sure.
Yeah. Directed and produced or whatever.
Yeah, and he got an award for it.
Yeah. That was a good movie, though.
Yeah, it was. Ryan?
Yeah.
I was looking up to see if...
Yeah, he did. Kevin Costner. He directed it. Open Range.
Yeah, I mean, so in that case, I really kind of respect his sensibility when it comes to Western movies. He's obviously a fan, and talk about somebody who knows how to make some shit cool.
Yeah.
We are talking about the Waterworld guy.
So the question is, in an era where Hollywood hates Westerns, do you think he'd end up having to finance it himself?
Oh, I don't think Hollywood hates Westerns.
Really? Name a Western
I think in this day and age, you can make them epic while still making them pretty cheap. You can throw all the money towards, good actors and good costumes and stuff like that. Save money by using horses in desert.
Well, Western doesn't take a whole lot of CGI to do.
No, it really doesn't.
Just find an old abandoned town and film it.
Except for, what was it, Cowboys versus Aliens?
Yeah.
The exception to the rule.
Do we have to bring that one up?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but look, Open Range, $22 million, okay? As opposed to $150 for like an Avengers.
Right.
True. Yeah.
So, I think Hollywood has not lost its affection for a good old Western.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's really a niche crowd now that goes to Westerns. I mean, there's not too many people that run out to it, and that's why they threw out that failed Cowboys versus Aliens. They were trying to drag another crowd into it. They were trying to get the sci-fi crowd into it.
See, that's why.
I don't really think you have to talk people into liking Cowboys.
I think that's what they try to do with Cowboys versus Aliens.
I think
they came off of a comic book or something, and
I think they were smoking crack.
See, here's the thing. It's because it's not most Westerns are a slower paced film, or the action isn't big enough for it's not Avengers, and I think that's the problem. A lot of people expect boom, boom, bang. They expect that, and you just don't get that with a Western.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if I go in to watch a cowboy movie, I'm not expecting the Avengers. But
I think a lot of people are.
On a $22 million budget, or even a little more, you can have some. I mean, I don't know if you remember Open Range. That was a pretty good action movie.
Yeah, we watched. Didn't we just do that recently?
Like a gauge shotgun or something.
I don't think we've ever done it.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
No, I liked it.
If we haven't, we should.
But if you
watched it recently.
Could be somebody's guilty pleasure.
But if you watch it though, it's nowhere near the action-oriented movies that have come out within the last decade. I think that's the problem.
You know why? It had a good script.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to throw in all that action if you have a good script and good actors.
But I think most people today want action script, big bang.
No, that's just what you see advertisements for. It's Hollywood, pimping out their big tentpole movies.
Man.
So, well, the question is, what do you think? You think people today would see a slower-paced movie versus an Avengers style?
Just because it's a
I'm willing to give it a try. I mean,
But we review movies. The question would would Ma and Pa Kettle out there go to a movie that?
I think it would be more. No offense, but Rob's crowd.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say the baby, but there's no offense. The baby boomers would definitely go to see it. Don't forget, we're still the largest population of people alive. So.
Well, look at how popular the Hatfields and McCoys were.
What was that? Sorry, my dad's beating up James.
I was saying, look at how popular the miniseries of the Hatfields and McCoys was.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
I mean, people really dug the shit out of that, and that was a really slow-paced drama.
Right.
But the other question is that a TV crowd versus movie crowd, or they're the same thing?
Same thing.
Because I don't know if they're the same thing.
It's the same thing nowadays. I mean, they're going to market it.
People consume things, of course. Yeah. Everybody watches everything.
Yeah, pretty much now. I mean, there's no real, no, that's a movie type thing. I mean, they really do. They broke down movies into like miniseries now, so most shows now are basically miniseries that are short or longer movies.
Okay, next quick question. If Tarantino decided to quit movies and made a miniseries, would you be for it or against it? Because I kind of want him to.
I'd be for it. I mean, I already like Eli Roth Hemlock Grove, so...
Because I'd love a 6-part Django type of thing. Or a 6-part... Inglourious Bastards, something like that. Would be awesome.
He'd obviously have to do it on an HBO or Showtime for Starz.
Yeah, Cinemax or some crap.
Yeah.
Make his own channel.
Well, why not? I mean, the guy's got all the money. He can obviously get a movie made. So.
I mean, why not? I mean, there's Own out there because she owns you.
I don't think that he would ever quit. He's the type that he'll jump on, produce some stuff. I mean, write it and give it off to somebody else.
He's already
put his
said
name attached to other things.
I know he's said in the past that because of his hatred for digital filming, that he said that he would consider it if he can't use film anymore because he's strictly film.
Well, I think that there are companies, and I've had this discussion with people.
You've had it with me before too.
I think some company will specifically make 35 millimeter film just for Quentin Tarantino.
China.
There will be somebody that will
slightly
produce
red
film specifically for that guy.
Better yet, there'll be some little hacker out there that will write some kind of script that'll make digital look just like film, and Tarantino will be happy.
No, I actually don't think that would be happening.
He's attached to the real nostalgia feel of
he probably still buys all those VHSs
on it.
Never mind, he buys 8
You know
millimeter.
what? Nothing's cast in stone, and neither are his opinions, because I've seen him come and go. So.
True.
My opinion.
So, next week's movie is James's pick on this month's theme of fun.
Fun, James. That's the operative
James,
word. Fun.
What's your movie?
And not a kid's
movie.
That
being said, James's idea of fun is...
Incendies.
Anyway. All right. So, I throw this challenge out to... Ryan and John, if you guys can guess what this is before I get to the last 2 sentences of my intro, you get a brownie. You have to make it yourself.
Okay.
So let's go back into the Wayback Machine to a time where action heroes ruled the big screen. And the M in MTV stood for music, not morons. Where steroids, speech impediments, and strong accents were commonplace. It didn't matter if one-liners were out of place or if the magazine was empty.
Tango and Cash?
Nope. Still waiting to find out how to use those 3 she-shells.
Oh, jeez.
Enjoy all those murder, deaths, kills.
Demolition Man.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Wesley Snipes is the blonde-haired madman.
Hey, did you want to hear my first intro? I think you'll like this one better. Action-packed speech impediment movie star, tax-evading criminal action star, and Sandra Bullock.
That's better.
And the man who stole all his comedy from Bill Hicks, Dennis Leary.
Yeah, and Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
And a living couch.
Don't worry, mine's going to be no better.
I didn't think so.
So far, I'm liking my choice better. So, ladies and gentlemen, I also wanted to remind you that Real Flix Reviews does have a Facebook page, so please do us a favor. Tell us what you think. Is there a theme you'd want us to do, or a movie? Or tell us how much you hate one of us, James, the old guy, even me, or the voice without a face, Ryan Preston.
Yeah, it's back there.
Nobody dislikes the voice.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you write us and tell us how much you hate Ryan's opinion, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave the...
How many times are you going to say ladies and gentlemen? How do you know there's ladies and gentlemen?
I'm hoping there's a lady out there.
Dear audience.
I'm hoping there's a lady. I'm praying there's at least
Dear
one.
Audience, if any.
So, not anymore.
So I gave the movie Boondock Saints a 4 to 5. James gave it a 4 to 5. Ryan and Rob gave it a 3 to 5. Next week's movie is The Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.